Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Solution Podcast. It's the solution. Yes, yes. It's the solution, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the truth. That's what we are here for. It's the Solution Podcast. Let's get to the solution. Let's work out these problems. Let's get to it. Let's tell them the truth. Let's stop the lies.
Let's give them the evidence.
The Solution Podcast. We got you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you stay tuned. I hope you comment. Hold on. Let me say that again. I hope you comment, like, and subscribe. We've got you. We're gonna tell the truth. We're not gonna lie to you. And don't forget, ladies and gents, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And we are live. It's been a minute. I do have to apologize first and foremost. I've got Jean-Michel here with me, and today we are celebrating and remembering Kevin Samuels, guys. All right. We've already got 5 of you guys watching. It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing. And I do have to apologize, guys, because I know I haven't released much on the channel. The channel's been quiet, it's been dead, and it's all because of me. I do apologize for that. No excuses, of course. We're just gonna have to. I'm not gonna give you the reasons why and all of that, because that will sound like an excuse. I've got to do better. I've got to do better. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. But salute to all of you that still subscribe. Salute to all of you that haven't given up on the channel. Love for that. In fact, we actually growing. We actually got more subscribers. Did I just see Hassan coming? He was just here. Hassan, where are you, bro? Come back here, man. Come back here. We're gonna be getting into this reaction soon. I've got Jean-Michel here. My people. Jean-Michel, what's going on, bro? It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It has been a minute, bro. It has been a minute, so I'm glad to be back, really. But if it was going to be anything, it would be the legacy of Kevin Samuels that would bring us back.
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
Who is Kevin Samuels? Do you think people still remember Kevin Samuels?
I think he's in the back of everyone's mind, but things have moved on now, and you know what? I don't think he's really getting the. I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. It's almost like, you see, if it's like when you take from someone, it's difficult to acknowledge them after, because then you kind of acknowledge the fact that you took from this person. And I think with Kevin Samuels, people took from so much from him and built their own platforms. They built their platforms based on his popularity, the whole red pill stuff. He was the real godfather of the red pill when you think about it, and he didn't even call himself red pill, but obviously similar talking points.
Yeah.
So I can see why people kind of like, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to kind of give him his props because I took from him. This is how I see it.
Bro, I think people perverted his message. I think they took
right.
from him. I think they took from him and they perverted right after that.
Yeah, they did.
Everything that I don't see people standing for what he stood for, even in the whole red pill community. And I do not like to associate Kevin Samuels with red pill, because Kevin Samuels was not red pill.
No, he wasn't.
Kevin Samuels was pro-marriage.
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels wanted to unite the African American community. He wanted to bring them all under God, under marriage. I mean, as a Christian, I will question the way he went about it.
Right.
Not necessarily for, put it this way, as a Christian, I see marriage as a must, and this is something that I will preach. I will basically make sure you understand that this is non-negotiable. Like marriage is a must. But with him, he was more of, why did you leave that man? You should stay with that man. Married or not, you should stay with that man. But yes, you should go out there and get married, because he was big. He was pushing marriage, but he was pushing marriage like he was trying to meet people where they were in today's
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because people are not
Yeah.
marriage minded anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, someone of his age and his wisdom and his knowledge, he knows what kept the black community together. Sorry, there I go again. The African community together. I got to check myself because I got JM on the line. I got to check myself. I got to check myself. Yo, this is an inside joke, guys. This is a WhatsApp inside joke. Anyways, yeah, because of someone of his knowledge, of his age, of his wisdom, he knows what commands a community, what keeps a community together, and he knows what makes a community grow. And he understands that that's the nuclear family, and he targeted that. And to me, I was just like, yeah, if you do that, then yeah, your community has no other place to go apart from growth. It has to grow. It has to grow, because that is what makes it grow. A community of, marriage is the key. That's what I believe. And he was a Christian himself, and he always said that he was a Christian. Always made sure, and he challenged people that wanted to challenge the Bible. He was actually quick to do. What you trying to bring up the Bible? Don't let me.
Yeah. He would allow you to do that. You know why I really liked him? Because he brought real equality.
Yes.
Before him, there was this, and bro, but we need to talk about sign language. I mean, that's his legacy. The
Yeah.
concept of sign language. How many times have we? He literally gave us one acronym that would immediately, like, you'd be debating people. You would
Mm,
drop that in. You would you would witness the behavior. You would drop it, and that would be almost the end of the debate,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it was so key in exposing. And this is what I'm going to talk about equality. Before Kevin Samuels, if you were having a debate with a woman, you would be shamed just for engaging in the debate. As a man, who were you? You shouldn't be arguing with women. There was that narrative.
Mm,
Um, the fact that there was this entitlement that women believe that they can say and do anything in the debate, and as men we were not supposed to respond. He smashed all of that to pieces. He gave them the real equality that they wanted. When you think about it, he was actually someone that they should champion themselves, because he said, "No, I'm going to treat you like an equal, and I'm going to debate you like an equal." And that's something people overlook.
do you know what you've just done? You actually touched the heart of it. When confronting, the ideologies that he believed went against the African American community, what he did was he attacked feminism. Feminism was all about equality. He said,
Yeah,
okay, all right, let's consider we are equal. You know, let's do the math. And what he actually did a lot of, I think he was a mathematician. I wonder, I wonder what his grade was as a mathematician. He wanted to do the math. He wanted to see if this equal or
yeah,
not. And more, and bro, he proved it every time. But he also had a formula. He knew
yeah.
he had one formula, and that formula exposed them.
Beautiful.
It was actually infallible. That
Let's
for
break down the formula. So he would
mm,
say,
mm, mm,
what
mm.
type, who would say, how old are you?
Yeah.
Then he would say, how much do you, how much do you weigh? And why you ask me that? But it all made sense. Then he would say, the man you want, how much
Yeah.
should he earn?
Yes. Yes.
And then you'd hear the 6 figures this and 9 figures that.
Mm.
Then he'd say, why should this was the key part. Why should a man earning that type of money pick you? That was the beginning of the end, bro. That was the beginning of the end. To so many people. So many people.
What amazed me the most was the way he structured his questions. It's like you couldn't get out of it.
That was for me. There's so many times I would watch him and be like, "Great question." And I was thinking, this guy's questioning, like the way his questions were so piercing.
Bro, you couldn't I saw show after show. I don't think there's ever been a woman on his show.
We're gonna watch some of it. We got some clips ready, by the way.
No. Oh, by the way, guys, listen. We're gonna be reacting to clips. We're not just gonna be talking about Kevin Samuels. This is just us giving like a quick, we honor him and I'm saying we respect him and so on and so forth for what he has done. But we're gonna be start reacting to these clips. But the thing is it's just his line of questioning. You couldn't beat that. And
Can I just say this? Go, you finish. Go finish up.
no, bro. It just amazes me like how I've never seen a woman like contradict him with his line of questioning. I've never seen one, and everyone always arrived at the same conclusion. All of them always came to the same conclusion, and they never argued against it. That's what I found fascinating. That's what I found fascinating. I don't know how he managed to do that. I mean, when you actually see the questions, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. It's so simple. It really is so simple, and yet no one could beat that. And I was just like, okay, no one ever showed a flaw on his questioning, or what I mean, or proved that what he was saying was flawed. No one has ever done that. He had the perfect formula. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it, man. That's the way I see it. We've got 9 of you guys watching. Salute to all of you guys. Shouts to all of you. Hassan has been
I wanted to make a quick point as well. I just wanted to make a quick point. Even though clearly his message did resonate with everyone because he had fans from all over. Obviously, I don't want to go into the race thing too much here, but you kind of mentioned it that he was very much for addressing the issues within his own community.
Amen for that.
And the lack of marriage, and his goal was to. But in doing that, this is what made him. This is why the respect is there, because sometimes when you go into a situation when you have to be critical, because where they say they tell you that you can never deal with a problem unless you acknowledge there's a problem in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he started from the beginning, and he addressed men and their behavior before women. Remember that he actually used to address men first, and much more harshly. I never forget one time when this guy called up
yeah.
Just a quick one. There's a guy that called up and was like, this woman, he got this woman and she mistreated him, and she was looking down on him and she didn't respect him. And he said to him, just out of curiosity, how much do you earn?
Yep.
I want to say what the guy said. And Kevin Samuels said, the woman wasn't your problem. Your pocketbook was.
He actually went deeper than that. If I'm getting you right.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 ways he was saying, basically.
Bro, he went in on that guy, bro.
Yeah, he did. I mean, so he addressed the problem with the men, and then when he went to women is when it became a problem. And we can talk about that, why that was the issue. But the point is that he addressed he fearlessly addressed. He wasn't trying to be no one's friend. He wasn't trying to be anyone's friend. He wasn't trying to, pander to an audience. He attacked the men. He attacked his audience, basically.
Yeah, he
He
did. Yeah,
literally attacked his audience. He had no,
yeah.
and that's what made him great to me.
And
Who does that? Who does that? No one does that.
no one does.
Everyone ingratiates themselves to the audience. You got people now pandering. Either you're pandering to your kind of liberal left wing mindset, or they're pandering to the right wing. So everyone's pandering. He didn't pander to anyone. That's what
He
made him
did.
great. He did not
That's
pander.
right. That's right. DG says he's hoping Jeff James lives a healthy lifestyle. No, he didn't pander to anyone, bro. He didn't pander to absolutely no one. And this is
Yep.
what I loved about Kevin Samuels. For 3 years, he attacked men. I'm not even going to call it like, yes, he conversated with them, yes, he talked to them, but he attacked them. He attacked them
Did.
on their weaknesses. He said, "Nah, you're not man enough.
Yeah.
You need to be more
You're
of a man.
lazy. You don't work enough.
You don't work enough. You know what I mean?
Your money's not right.
You're not fit enough. You're not
Yeah.
you're not up to par, mate." You understand?
Yeah.
And this is what I loved about him, because and the reason why we didn't hear nothing from men, or the reason why it didn't become viral, is because men understand accountability. Men understand, you're right, bro. I
Yes.
can't even argue with that. You know what I mean? Like, he even talked about a man's genital size to him, and the man was humble on the phone. Not once did he lose his cool. Not once did he lose his and become arrogant and angry and all of that. And he literally told him, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got enough money. Are you tall? No. If you got big, no. All right, cool. You know what? Yeah, you can't be talking ish, bro.
Yeah. Don't big yourself up.
Don't big yourself up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Know your place. You know what I mean? If you don't want to become better in the money department, don't big yourself up, bro. You know what I mean? And you know what? Yeah, you talked about equality. Let me just quickly say this before we go into the videos. But he talked about equality, but he gave everyone equality, and the people didn't like it. People did not like the equality that he gave. Like, women didn't like it. You know, every time he said, "Okay, all right, everything equal. How much you gonna earn after you have your first baby? I'm gonna earn a little bit less because why? You know what I mean? Like, he did that, and with men, he made sure men understood that, listen, to be a man in today's age, and that's one of the things, he acknowledged the modern age. He wasn't talking about.
Right.
Oh, he acknowledged that we're living in a different time, and you men must um uh you must you must become accustomed to it. This is a new time. And whether, it's not like back in the days anymore. So stop dreaming about those days. This is a new age, and we have to acclimate to the new, to the new, you know what I mean, to the new age. And that's one thing that I loved about him. Stop making excuses. It is what it is. I know it's going to be more difficult, but as a man, so he was actually trying to raise man to a different level for those men that kept using the past as an excuse to justify their failures in the future. This is what I loved about Kevin Samuels. You know what I
You
mean?
know
It's
what he
like
had a lot. And you know
there's
why he
no
had a lot of respect too. Let me tell you why he had a lot of respect, because he was very critical of his own community. The African American, whatever you want to call it.
yes.
Very critical of the men, of the culture. Sometimes he would go in on the behavior. But what separates him from like a Myron Gaines, where there's a hatred there?
Oh
He would
yes.
not allow. He would not allow people outside of the culture to call in and disrespect black men or black women.
Ever.
Ever. He would say, no, this is not the place for that. You don't come from outside the community to come in here to start bashing black men or bashing black women. He would cut that quick. He wouldn't allow it.
And he said,
Whereas
and there was a good thing.
Myron Gaines on his platform, he
Yeah,
would allow Nazis to come on the platform using the N word and laugh and
yeah,
joke with them.
yeah.
He never
Under
did that.
the excuse of freedom of speech,
Right.
and
He
that's what
would
I'm
never,
saying.
but he wouldn't allow hate speech. Yeah.
He, I'll be honest with you. That's one of the things. It's about standards. It's about having standards. You
Yeah.
know, there's things about secularism that I don't agree with. There's things about, but most of it is to do with liberalism. But the thing is, one thing I loved about it is, listen, just think about it logically. There's problems in my community, yes, but there's also problems in yours.
Right.
But for
Yeah.
some
So he wouldn't
reason,
allow it. Yeah.
so if I went to your platform and I start highlighting all the problems within your community,
Yeah.
you wouldn't like it.
There you go.
Now, why
There
do
you
you feel
go.
the need to come over here? But the thing is, it also established. Um, it's like, okay, when we are talking, let's talk about how we can better ourselves rather than trying to put ourselves down.
Yeah.
And he was interested in that. He was interested. Okay, how can we improve this? How can we make this better? How can we, you know, what I'm saying, make this grow? And this is what this is why I love Kevin Samuel so much, is because there was a standard there. It's like, no, you cannot come here and disrespect, you know, the African.
Integrity. It's called integrity.
Yes, exactly. No, you cannot do that because first of all, it's false. Like what you're doing is false. It's not true because no human being is perfect. No community is perfect. There's flaws in every single community, and we're
Right.
not going to stop pointing fingers. It's not productive. It
Right.
doesn't help us. Okay, so okay, what does help us? Okay, let's look into what help us, and let's build on that. And this is what I loved about him, because there was integrity, there was standards, you
Yeah.
know, there was morality, and there was a vision. It wasn't to, no one is hiding the ugly truth. He spoke about the ugly truth, but he also said, you don't have the right to speak about it. I have the right to speak about it.
Right. He also acknowledged history too, because a lot of the issues that plagued his community, there were some outside forces. If you look at the plan to, the whole welfare plan and how it was beneficial for men to not be in the home, he addressed all of that. Oh, he didn't make excuses, but he gave you the whole picture. He
Yes,
said, yes, this also. Let's not forget this also happened, and this contributed to this issue. However, we need to do better. So that I respected that too. The fact that he was, because a lot of people they don't like to kind of give you the full picture.
I know.
They like
And
to, but he gave the full picture.
before we go into the reactions, I just want to say he wasn't just someone who talked about relationships or was here to break down African American women. He wasn't that. That's not what he was. A lot of people, you know, love to watch it for, oh, look, he's exposing women's delusions because they got some kind of hatred towards women.
Mm,
That's not what he was about. He talked about everything.
yeah,
Yes, he mainly focused on, you know, bringing African men and African women together and building and building the nuclear family. I think I would like to think that that's how he that's what he wanted. That was his mission. To,
mm,
if I can unite the African American family, then most of the problems in our society will be fixed, because then once you do that, then you have male leadership, and male leadership leads to discipline, structure, businesses, and everything else. And I think he was hitting at the heart of things. He wanted to cure he didn't want to just cure the symptom. He wanted to cure the problem, the
right,
source, because you know, it's not. Come on, man. Who controls the country? It's not us. Okay, cool.
yeah,
But at least what we can do is control our own. You know, our own people. We can control our own areas and so on and so forth. And we can. And the only way to do this is through the control of the family and through male leadership. And I think that's what he was trying to get the African American community back to. He was trying to get the African community back to be at the Jim Crow level, not under those rights, but at the Jim Crow level where 90% of them were married and they were thriving, literally thriving economically. They were thriving more than today. That's what I'm saying. He was trying to get them back to that and just imagine how powerful the African American community would be if they were 90% married under male leadership. It would be something
It's a valid point. It's a valid point.
I'll be honest with you, and the fact that it's even a dream today to even mention that, and yet this was happening during Jim Crow era. It's actually scary to me. It's actually wow. Like this has never been a problem for the longest. And now all of a sudden it's like an impossible mission almost. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it anyway.
Yeah.
That's my point. If you disagree, you disagree, bro. I mean, you let me know.
You know what? Most of what you said, I agree with. To be honest, I think most of what you said, I don't think you can't really argue with something. You know, I think essentially, there was a reason why black people were forced together. We know the reasons behind it, but we can't argue with the fact that that caused more unions, more stable. We all know that a community, stable community, is built by family. That's the building blocks of a community is a family.
Bro,
if you ain't got a strong family, there's no strong community. We know this is just a fact.
Yeah, everything starts with that. It's like it's best for you to save rather than you to get it on credit and all of that. Save your money. You know what I mean? And then of course after that you get your credit cards and all of that, but you've got some savings behind you. You're all right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's best to do things in the right way. When you do things in the right way, things work out better. When you try to cheat the system, when you try to when you try to do things halfway and it's not gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Like you know what I mean? Shortcuts don't work. Do the things the right way. So the right way would be having a nuclear family. That is the right way of doing things. When you try and cheat the system, eventually there is consequences for literally everything that we do. Cheating the system, there's going to be consequences of it. If you do things the right way, there's going to be consequences of it. This is why people that do the right thing always have good outcomes, and people that try to cheat the system, try to create shortcuts, and he understood that. And this is what I loved about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, hold on, we also need to talk about the fact that so many people of the African community, especially from the female side, decided to applaud his death.
We'll talk about that in the end. We'll talk about why.
We need to do that. We need to. But let's get to these reactions, bro. Let's get to it because we can go on forever about Kevin Samuels because there's so much to talk about him. Because I actually do admire the man. I really do. He tried. And hold on, we haven't even talked about.
I believe he was taken out. I don't care. Call me conspiracy theory. Call me conspiracy theories if you want. I believe he was taken out.
Bro, you saw my message. Like when he first, you saw what my message was on Facebook. I turned around and I said, "Yo, he was taken out. I don't care what anyone says. He was taken out. That's my opinion." And I did not care what anyone. And I still believe in the same thing. He was taken out. He was taken out because I'm sorry to say he was reaching into people's hearts. He was really
making a difference.
Bro, he had a marriage. It was a Facebook marriage page.
Yeah.
Dedicated, trying to showing people, look, I'm getting results here. We getting married again. And I understand. To me, I'm gonna call him the enemy. The enemy understands that marriage if you can destroy marriage, you can destroy an entire community. They understand that.
Yes.
We might not, but they understand that.
Oh,
But
100%.
we're gonna get into also the people within the African community that enjoyed and loved the fact that he
Yeah.
died,
Yeah.
and was celebrating and were having a
Yeah.
good old time, hearing the news that he was dead. Which to me, it was scary to me. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, let's get into this.
Mental Groove, where real talk meets real reaction. Today, we're diving into another Kevin Samuels video that's got people talking. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay locked in. My thoughts are coming right after the video. Let's check it out.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
32.
All right. So, is it time to give up on the fantasy or the dream of this ideal man?
Yes. I think I gave up on that around 22.
Okay. Are you single or are you married?
I'm single, divorced 2020 December.
How many kids? Any kids?
Yes, 2.
You said you got divorced in 2020.
Yes.
Was it for irreconcilable differences?
Yes, my husband, he was 4 years younger than I am. He just kind of decided once we had a son, have a daughter prior to him. I met him when she was 3 years old, so him and I kind of dated that whole time. We got married. But once we had our son, he kind of just was like the responsibility, of having a family, being a husband. He just kind of told me one day, I don't want to do this. Our son was 4 months old, and he just said it's not for him. He wants to be a bachelor. So that's life kind of living, and I just accepted it.
So what is it? So was he paying child support?
Yes, he is.
So this is why I tell women, stop marrying younger men. Well, no, why y'all think y'all should not be getting with younger men?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was
So-
he doing?
But okay, so did you hear the last call where I was talking to you?
Hold on.
Yes, I've been.
Why do women? Why do you think?
Very interesting, right there.
Let's establish
First of all, the
Mm.
questioning, the questioning again. Look, he was very clever with his questioning. He wanted to establish why they were divorced. Was it for
irreconcilable differences. Yeah.
yeah, differences. So what he's putting out to the world is, you don't just divorce just for the sake of it. That
Yep.
was his message in
Yep.
that question. He was basically saying, guys, when you get divorced, I want to know what the reason is, and there better be a real reason.
Yep. Yep.
Irreconcilable differences. That's
And
interesting.
also, let's establish the facts here. What was the first question? He said, "Are you tired of?" What was the question again?
He said, "Are you tired for looking for the perfect man yet?"
There you go. Because there's no such thing as the perfect man.
Yeah.
There's no such
Because
thing
there's
as
no such thing as a perfect woman.
there's no such. I was just going to say.
And think of the mindset behind that. You are an imperfect person looking for a perfect person.
It's a fact. It makes no sense. How can you be imperfect and thinking that you're going to find a perfect person? Do you even deserve to find a perfect person as an imperfect person? Come on, let's just be real here. Now,
The last thing he touched on was why you spoke about why the people hate him, why there's certain parts of the community hate him.
Mhm.
One of the reasons is he touched on just with his last comment. Why are you women going for younger men? Now, within the community, in certain communities, within a certain bracket of women, there's almost like we've seen it, Nelson, in the groups we've been in.
Yes.
They celebrate these celebrities like what was that lady that we spoke about that was only going for younger men and then ended up saying that she actually wasted her life. Remember
Is
that
that the
lady?
one that did the thing with Michelle Obama?
Yes, perfect example.
that-
Look at the
yeah,
wisdom right there. He said that long before the interview. Stop going for younger men. And then we had the perfect example of a woman that was being bragging about going for younger men, and women that were celebrating the fact that this woman only went with younger men. And
well, how old? How old is the woman?
she ended up telling Michelle Obama, "I'm sad, I'm lonely, etc." She
Yeah,
literally proved him right again.
I did a reaction on that woman,
You did,
and
yeah.
it was actually quite dark. Just even just learning
It was
about her,
dark.
it was very dark. Learning
Yeah,
about her and her dating habits, and the fact that she just seeing how old she is right now, and where she found herself in because of her beliefs.
yeah,
Um, it led her in such a dark place. And you can see it. You can. There's no even when she's talking, like
yeah,
just the vibe that she gives.
yeah.
When she's talking, you can see how dark and lonely and deprived and and sad. There's such a sadness. Like every time I looked at her, every time when I was like writing the script for the reaction, and I was researching about her and I was watching her, and I was just like, she has this darkness about her. There's a huge sadness. There's no joy there. There's
Bruce
nothing there.
Ross, Diana Ross's daughter. What was her name again? Something Ross.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Diana Ross's daughter.
But let's also highlight the fact, the age factor. Look at the woman that he's talking to. She's 32
Yeah.
and she's dating younger men.
Why?
Why? Because that's the only ones that are available. And we know today in the hedonistic promiscuous culture that we live in, yes, younger men will be available, but not for what she's after. She's after
What?
security because she's 32. Women understand whether women want to deny their biology or not. The fact is, they know that once you reach 32, it's pretty much the end of the line. Now, is there going to be an older man ready to invest in you at that age and create a family? According to the statistics, no. According to statistics, apparently, according to statistics, about 50% of women supposed to be single and childless by 2034, something like that, or 2030. That they're supposed to be like. So according to statistics, women are not, things are not going to improve, put it that way. But the thing is, it's like you've left it too late. Of course, an older man is not going to invest in you. Why would he invest in you? You can't give him a family. You can't give him children because we have our biological needs. As much as we enjoy the materialism of it, the materialistic things, we also have our biological needs. I'm not going to invest if I want to settle down. I'm not going to invest in a woman that can only give me one child or two children. I want to invest in a woman that can give me more children if I want to. So I'm going to go for a younger version. But the thing is, for women, though, when it comes to women, if she reaches 32 and she's not settled, and she doesn't have a husband, she doesn't have any of that, I'm sorry, she has to try and go for younger men because an older man isn't going to invest in her.
So this is the thing now. So now I slightly disagree with
Okay.
what you're saying, and I think that Kevin Samuels also kind of he painted a scenario that may I think we can talk about it, but I think it's slightly different. I think his thing. I don't think he believed that they were undateable or they were off the shelf. What he was saying is their expectations made them off the shelf. So basically, he believed that there were men, older men, who maybe had their own children. Maybe they had been, they got their own kids. Maybe they've been through a divorce, who will be quite willing to take on a woman like that, who has her children too, and make a blended family. I think there are men like that, and I think he would say that there are men like that. But the problem is those women don't want those type of men. That's why they're single, and that's why they will remain single. You're right. I think for a younger man coming up, yeah, more than likely he's not going to want to get with someone if he has a choice. That is, and he has the choice to do it. This is where options come into it, and this is why Kevin Samuels was so big on options. He would promote men to have as much put themselves in a position where they have the maximum options. So a young man that's in that frame, in that stage of his life where he can have options, of course he's going to choose someone who he can start a family with. So for a man like that, no, those women would not be his first choice. But I think it was more about the fact that they had such high expectations of themselves and completely deluded about their situation. That's what ultimately kept them single. I
I
don't
don't
think it was the fact that they couldn't find men. I think it was just their own deluded mindset.
I don't disagree with you at all. Everything that you said, I actually completely agree with.
Right.
Kevin Samuels' objective was to expose the delusion.
Yeah, yeah,
They childish expectations, put it that way.
yeah.
And this delusion that the perfect man will come along and will sweep them off their feet and all of that, and you're almost 40. Are you stupid? That's not gonna happen. Um, what the reason why I said what I said is because what I'm just doing is establishing a fact. Most young men are not going to settle for an older woman. They're just not going to do it.
No, they won't. They won't.
And
That's a
an
fact.
older woman that leaves it too late.
History tells us that.
Exactly. And an older woman that leaves it too late is, first of all, she's going to be begging, like literally begging for a man to even come in. And not to say that there isn't men out there, because remember, it's not just women that messed up. Men also
Right,
have, let's not forget that side.
right.
That part, that side of the coin. So men have also messed up. So I'm not saying that there is what he was really doing. He was trying to just get them together. He was just like, listen, lower your standards a little bit and get with the
Yeah.
first man that shows you some attention. Get married and create a family. Okay, that's it. I used to like he used to diagnose. I remember one time like actually this happened loads of times, but this story stuck to my head. It was a young couple that apparently had children, and she was basically telling him the struggle stories that they've had, that they've been through, and he was just like, "Did you get married?" And she goes, "Oh, not yet. We really want to," and so on. He said, "What's stopping you? Go to the thing. We need more."
I remember that.
It's
Yeah, I remember
exactly.
that.
We need more. We need more black marriages. We need more. We need more. Go
And
to
he
the
really
registry.
blasted the guy. He said to the guy, "What the hell are you waiting for?"
Yeah, what you waiting for? You obviously you both are not gonna leave each other. You got a family, you got all of that. Go to the register, get yourself married. And that was the importance. That's what he was interested in. That's what he wanted them to do. Because he wanted to show the statistics. Listen, we're getting married here. You know what I'm saying? We're forming families again. You know what I mean? And that's how you form a community, a trustworthy community, a community that will prosper. And that's what he was interested in. But so yeah, so not I wasn't disagreeing with you.
Mhm.
I'm actually agreeing with everything that you actually said before. It's just that it's a fact, bro. It's a fact that like younger men, if she's getting attention from younger men, it's not because they want to settle down with her. 90%, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, they just want to beat and leave. And that's really what it is. But these women, and also the fact that women, this is another thing that I just want to highlight quickly. Women are leaving it too late, bro. They're leaving it too late. They're leaving it, they're too old. They're leaving it till their 30s to settle down. So can you
And
hear me?
that, to be honest, is what we can watch it. But that is basically, and to be fair, he put some of that on society too. He said that society is rewarding women for not seeking marriage at a certain point in their lives, traditionally, what they used to, in terms of what they used to do traditionally, and it's actually rewarding women that wait and wait and wait and wait, but not realizing that in that waiting, they end up being in a situation where their expectations
Higher body
they
count.
become so accomplished
Mm.
that the men that they want are literally top 1% men because of
Yeah.
their expectations. And then that's when it becomes a problem because those men that are in that bracket, they have every option in the world.
But it's not
And they're
just
not
that. But
gonna go for a hardened business type woman that's bragging about her 100 degrees and it's just not going to be their first choice. And that was the hard truth, the bitter pill that a lot of them couldn't take. That's why many of them that's why there was that type of women are the ones that celebrated his death.
Absolutely, and I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Oh my days, you're so right about that. But the thing is, that let's not forget, bro. The older I'm sorry for women, they have a biological clock. They do. This is a biological fact. The older you get, the more accomplished you get, and let's be honest, bro. Most women are not becoming super accomplished. They're not pursuing. For the most part, most people just get a job. They're not getting some high, amazing career where they have to sacrifice family and children for. Okay, most of them are just pursuing a job, and the longer they wait, come on, bro, let's tell the truth. They're gonna get more. The body count's gonna go higher. You I'm sorry to say it. The higher the body count, the less attractive they become to men, and the more men don't find them attractive, the older they get. Men like beauty, men like fertility. A lot of people don't. A lot of people want to ignore our biological, the biological things that we are attracted to. Fertility. That's what we are attracted to. And an older woman doesn't have fertility. They just don't. They just don't. Because we know biologically every single month they lose their eggs, and they only have a certain amount of eggs. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it, bro, but this is a fact.
You know what it reminds me of as well. I remember, and there was this narrative that he destroyed about this idea of men are kind of he really exposed this idea that a lot of these type of women, and remember, it was about what was it again? I got a PhD. Remember, he used to have that sound.
I've got a PhD.
Remember, he used to have that little sound clip. I've got a PhD. And that was literally exposing that a particular type of women, this kind of woman that believes that they're so accomplished that men are almost commodities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I remember when he painted a scenario to one of these type of women and he asked her, she goes, she was like, I don't really need, what do I need a man for? What do I need a man for?
Oh my
He
God.
said, okay, let's imagine a world where, there's like like a natural disaster and you're on your own.
Yep.
How would you feed and water yourself? This woman said she'll go to the sea, get some water,
Oh my God.
and drink it.
You're gonna die. And
He said he waited for her to say everything first. He said,
you have
"You're
to
dead.
boil that water and get the salt out. So what is
You
wrong?
couldn't get the steam." He had to break down to her how you got to boil the water, collect the steam,
Yep.
and you can
Collect-
drink the
yep.
steam. And she had no idea, Nelson.
And you can actually make salt out of it. You can actually,
Yeah.
you can actually make salt out of seawater. Like you can literally, if you boil
Distill it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you distill it, yeah, that you can actually do
She
that.
had no idea. She had no idea.
This is how modern.
And he said, "You're out here talking about how you don't need no man, and you'll die within the first day."
Literally. So he basically, that's what I'm trying to say. This is another thing that was genius. He entertained their delusion, asked them questions, and then exposed their ignorance and their stupidity. And it's just like, do you see now why you're not living in reality? You know, and these are so-called modern special, I don't know, modern women, evolved women, advanced women, civilized women, or whatever you want to call them. And yet something as simple as that they were not actually aware of, because it's
Yeah.
all ego talking. And anyways, let's continue. Let's continue the reactions. I've got
Yeah.
so much to say about this guy, bro. Like I could talk about Kevin Samuels all day, man.
Women are so disgusted by the notion of settling for average men.
I
Whoa.
think a lot of it has to do with lack of structure and upbringing, potentially childhood stuff. So maybe we don't have that model. So social media, the TV kind of raises us. It tells us this is charming and this is what you look for.
Mm-hmm.
The music, I mean, because I was influenced by this stuff as a young woman. So I think, definitely watching your content has shifted my mindset. While I was going through my divorce, I picked up on your. It just kind of, and I've kind of always had that wife mindset, but I've just kind of think about me going to therapy, done that healing. Actually, when I date a man, it's already nothing else.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Hi,
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Sorry, just want to say, bro, I actually agree with this woman with everything she just said, because unfortunately, young girls these days, growing up without a father, they go by what the media shows them, and what the media shows them is literally feminism, is things that encourage feminist ideals, and they follow that and they believe in that. This is why I'm so careful with my daughter and what she watches, what she doesn't watch. We pray every day. I teach her the Bible every day, but I also teach her the logic behind things, um, why things are the way they are. Why she knows all about feminism. My daughter, she knows all about feminism. I even asked her, "Are men and women equal?" My daughter's like, "No, men and women are not," and I just laugh because I'm literally teaching her to be a warrior. Um, but the thing is yeah, a lot of these girls are growing up in front of a TV and they are learning what the TV teaches. Not TV, not just TV, social media, phones, and all that, iPads. They learn in this stuff through these devices, um, and it's so feminist ideology, and they believe in it. And unfortunately, that is the reality of it. I don't think Kevin Summers would even challenge that personally. I don't think he would challenge
He
that because
didn't seem to challenge it, did he? He kind of actually said he kind of agreed. He made
yeah,
like a sound that suggested he agrees with it. But he made
he
such a profound statement after. But just before we started up,
mm.
the women are disgusted about getting with the average man. That was such a
Oh,
profound statement, man. I mean,
let's quickly delve into this one. What's the average man? The average man that earns the average income, right?
yeah, he used to speak about that. Remember, he used to talk about the average man,
Yes, the average man who earns the average income. And he used to
and
always
he would
use
ask them, "Is that okay for you?" And they'll be like, "No, no, I
no,
don't want."
yeah.
And then he'll ask them, "What do you earn? What are your accomplishments?" Or why do you think you deserve more than him?
Mm, mm,
And that you say again. I mean, the question, it's all about, bro. His whole thing was about asking the right questions. That's what it was all about. He wouldn't make statements. He'd ask them, okay, you got an average man here earning 45K a year, let's just say, for
mm,
example, or 50K a year. Is he suitable for you? No. Okay. Why? Well, before we get to the why, let's look at your accomplishments first.
yes,
How much
yes,
do you earn? 25K. Oh, really? Then he would say, "Oh, that makes sense because the average." Then you see, you talk about the numbers and the statistics.
yep,
He would
yep.
say that makes sense because the average woman earns £28,000 a year. So yeah, that makes sense. So you earn that amount.
Yeah, but the
And
thing
then he'd
is,
be
you
like,
see,
"How many
but
kids you got?" "Oh, I've got 2 kids." "Are the dads in their lives?" "No." "Okay." So you earn the average wage. You have children you're a single mother, basically. You know, you're children out of wedlock, and you're saying in your situation, you don't deserve to have a man, an average man. And that was when he would ask them to explain why that, and they'll be like, "Oh, I want more for myself and all that." But why didn't you get more in the first? When you had the chance to get more for yourself, why didn't you do it then?
And another thing is, you used to also compare the Mexican families to the African American community.
Bro,
He used to
sorry to
say,
interrupt you. I gotta say this quickly, but
"Yeah,
just
go
keep
ahead."
that thought. I never forget when he said, and I've used this since then.
Mm,
He said there are men out there from other cultures
thank you.
that make money from collecting cans who have families with women that respect them.
Ain't got nothing to do with he doesn't earn enough money or anything of nature.
Right.
It has nothing to do with that, because throughout most of history, okay, people didn't have these stupid exorbitant expectations. They did not have that. This is what's our first imperative? We want to create families. We want to have our families. So we get with someone and we struggle with that person, and we struggle with that person. We create families and so on. It's not about being super rich or what and whatnot. It's these expectations have only come about in the last 100 years. In the last 100 years, through the rise of feminism, this is when we have seen women develop these absurd expectations, and it's literally absurd. And the reason why I brought up the whole Mexican thing, the whole Mexican comparison, is because it's true. And he said it many times. Like you said, there's Mexican guys who literally work all day and they don't have some super amazing job. They didn't graduate. They didn't do all of that. All they know is to just work hard, and that's it. And they have women that are obedient to them, women that are absolutely submissive to them, absolutely 100%. So why don't we have the same situation in the African American community? Why is it that why do you have these crazy wild expectations, in terms of how much money a man should earn? That's crazy. If he
And the
what's
deeper,
wrong with the average man?
yeah, and the deeper he see again, he created a scenario there, and in doing so, he had to go into the root and the causes of it, and he was
Yeah.
picking off the plasters and the wounds and the things people didn't want to talk about. And again, this is why people celebrate his death, certain people, because he really went to the root cause of this mindset. And it triggered a lot of people. It triggered so many people. It
Yeah,
triggered the root cause of it. And the people that were the root cause of it, it triggered those people. If you wanted to know what's wrong with a community and the people, because remember, for something to be wrong in the community, Nelson, it has to be people. It's not just the wind or like a figment of your imagination. It's people,
yeah,
right? So if you
yeah.
wanted to know what's wrong with the community, just look at the people that celebrated his death, and those are the people that are the reason why the community is how it is.
We have
That those were literally the people that caused it.
we have Hassan. Hold on, before I respond we have Hassan on in the house. Hassan, what's going on, bro?
How you doing? You alright?
You
Yes,
finally
Hassan.
this.
Hassan, quick question, quickly before we start. How was the shower?
What shower? I don't take a shower.
Anyway, inside joke. It's okay. Continue.
What was it called? Look, Hassan. JM did the same
I'm the
thing.
one that sends people to the showers.
JM did the same thing to me. He had the audacity to
Yeah.
come to send me a private message with a what are those gifts or gifs or whatever you call
Cold
it.
shower.
With a shower. I was just like, this guy, man. He's got the audacity to say your knowing that I'm fuming. I was a cold child, bro. I was just like, he's an idiot, bro. But now when you actually look back, you actually appreciate it. It was a good cold shower still.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. That he calms you down. Nap time, baby. So, guys, this is all inside jokes. by
Yeah,
the way. This is WhatsApp group inside jokes. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
If you want to join the WhatsApp group, just hit up Nelson.
just hit me up,
Nelson
bro.
up, and you can join us.
You
But you
can
have to
join-
be tough, though. You have to be tough.
Whether you're gonna last or not, that's a whole other question. Most people don't last. It's absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Evil, even. I'm sorry. Metaphorically speaking, not exactly. It will hurt you. Trust me. Most people don't stand a chance. But yeah, go Hassan. JM asked you a question. Go.
It's just about culture. That's all he asked me.
Okay. Oh, it was just about culture. Okay, your thoughts on what we've been talking about, because I know you like to make a grand entrance. Go ahead.
No, I was just watching little clips, just watching bits and pieces, and I thought, let me join in just to
You
see.
were more critical of him than we were, weren't you, Hassan? I remember you were a bit more critical.
Is it?
I'm sure you were a little bit more critical. I think you respected him, but you were a bit more critical of him. I think, which is okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I remember, that sounds about right. I mean, I don't remember what I said, but
Yeah.
it seems consistent with what I'm thinking right now.
Which is?
Well, I was not a fan.
Okay.
I mean, it's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was very entertaining. You know, you're average at best in situations like that, and how cold and blunt he was at times. But no, I didn't. I think it was a bit self-serving. I don't highly value his work and his time and effort. I definitely think it was entertaining. A bit harmless entertainment as well, because a lot of the people that come on, especially the women, were delusional. But people usually are that come onto these sort of platforms to have their life critiqued by a stranger. Hi, I'm this age. I'm looking for this. It's already over unless it's for your own entertainment. I feel sorry for a lot of the people here, because they're really just hearing things they already know, but they're just being force-fed their medicine to a certain degree. But yeah, I mean, is there a problem in the African American culture? Yeah, but I think there are problems in every culture. I definitely agree with the line of thinking that Octavio usually pushes. Religion over race, should I say? Religion being the unifier and a far better tool to fulfill a moral objective for a people, or a better outcomes for people than anything else. But I just don't think he hit that nail on the head. So I think he was entertaining, but you know.
Hold on, Hassan, don't.
Yeah, go.
But wasn't he not using a religious principle to try to heal the issue? But because the whole concept of marriage is that not a religious principle? Like to get married, to not to be sowing your wild oats all over the place, to get married. That wasn't that a religious kind of principle he was pushing?
I think Octavio wanted to jump in. I can respond to that, but I think Octavio.
Hold on, before you jump in, Juicy Juice Bourbon. I don't feel sorry. All right. Shout out to you, Juicy Juice. Do expand on that if you can. What do you mean by you don't feel sorry? I would love to hear your opinion. Yes. Sorry. Before you answer, I know JM asked you a question directly. Just to give my quick 2 cents on that. Yes. I believe that he did push, and I agree with JM. He did push a religious principle, because his aim and his goal was to get people married. But unfortunately, I think it's the strategy that he used. He used a secular strategy, which is to speak in a secular way and communicate in a secular way in order to get people to understand that what they are doing is failing. It's not actually serving them. But the principle of get married, for example, that's what he pushed. He pushed for marriage. That's what he, and any Christian will say marriage is better than just. So to him, it wasn't enough that a woman was just together with another man, and you guys were raising a child together, or you were together. He was like, why are you not married? Why are you not? Why don't you seal the deal? Put it that way. And yes, he went. I think it's this. I think what puts Hassan off, it was this, the secular way that he went about things, in order to connect and communicate with with people of today. Most people today, they don't believe in religion, they don't believe in God. So yeah, so he tried to use a secular approach in order to bring him to a religious principle. Because sometimes you got to do that with dumb people, people that are stupid. It's like, okay, you don't like the word religion, you don't like the word God. Okay, so let me show you how stupid your choices are, and then make them understand. See, religion would have, been better for you, really, truly. You got to treat them like babies almost. Like, I don't like God, I don't like religion, and yet every choice that you make, what I'm saying, religion tells you that it's wrong. God tells you that it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I have to communicate with you in a secular manner. But just goes, I don't feel sorry for the women who are usually delusional. I don't feel sorry for them either. I don't feel sorry for them either. But living in today's society, and sorry guys, I know I'm talking a little bit too much here, but in today's society, people are raised in a society that promotes everything that is bad, and you're going to be influenced by it one way or the other, unless you have very strong religious, parents who really believe in what they believe in. You are going to be influenced by the society that you currently live in, one way or the other. So society does play a part in influencing people to go the wrong way. That's not taking away personal accountability. So personal responsibility. That's not. I'm not doing that. I'm saying that you have to take that into account. That is a factor. But yeah, but I do agree with you all in all. Just yeah. Go ahead, sir. Sorry for taking so long.
Yeah. Before I answer JM's question, what would you do differently if you were Kevin? Octavia.
If I was Kevin,
yeah, just one or two differences.
Oh, if I was Kevin, I'll be more explicit. I'll be more explicit about my about the fact that the principle that I'm the point that I'm trying to get you to, it actually comes from a religious principle. So I'll be more explicit about that. I'll be more open about that. I'll be, listen. Yes, I'm not saying this for my own wisdom, for my own whatever. This has already been communicated through the religion, through the books, and so on and so forth. And all we have to do is basically just, But I'll be honest with you. Me in secular, I can't change anything that he did in the sense of. I'll be more explicit about that, but I can't change anything that he did, because what he did was he used secularism. He dismantled secularism. He dismantled feminism just by asking a few questions. He had a formula, and that formula literally dismantled secularism not secularism, feminism, liberalism. He literally managed to dismantle that just by asking a few questions. You could tell through when women answer those questions, you could tell that they did not want to be equal to men. Because so how much money do you want to be after you have your kids? How much money do you want to contribute to them? And they were like, I don't want to contribute that much. So you want the men to pay the most of the bills, right? And just that alone literally destroyed feminism. It destroyed the whole concept of equality. So I can't take that away from him because that was necessary. That was a must. He needed to do that because you have to meet people where they are also. And where you are, I'm sorry to say, where you are is delusional. So he had to expose that delusion through just through a secular way of talking, for secular reasoning. He had to do that, even though the influence of it comes from religion, but he had to do that. And then you can say, well, you know how, look, religion proposes what I'm proposing, but that's after you've destroyed that delusion out of their heads. And he had to do that. And I would just say be more explicit about his and at times he was very open about being a Christian and how he grew up as a Christian and so on and so forth. But he did also promote his promiscuity, his promiscuous ways. Like he was out there slinging, you know what I mean? If you get my drift.
Yeah, that's how he died.
Stop. I say that's so.
Am I lying? He died in
did
bed with a girl he met from a club.
Yes, what he did was wrong. Yes, what he did was. I'll be honest with you. I don't believe that that's how he died. I personally believe he got set up. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but you're absolutely right, 100%. Officially, that's how he died. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, my critique, was it's just as you've pointed out, there's no moral. It's just he chose to present more possibly more beneficial circumstances for the women that he was speaking to and the men, saying why not do this instead of that, why not commit yourself to this instead of that. He uses reasoning and logic and a bit of humor in there as well, and a bit of tough love, but all in all it was just entertainment. And I think his work was in vain to a certain degree. Was he using a religious principle? Yeah, I mean, you can have a remote without batteries as well. It doesn't really mean anything. I think if you don't offer eternal damnation as a consequence for your behavior or an eternal reward, it's all just subjective at that point.
But I think okay, so Stanley's also entitled to his critique there. But I think also he's coming from to many would be in a very extreme and clearly religious but his critique is religious. Basically, he's saying, as a religious man, I don't believe he did XYZ. I don't believe it means XYZ because of my religion, which is fair enough. But you can't really use that to kind of lesser his impact or to devalue what he did just because in your mind he wasn't ticking your religious boxes, is what I'm saying. I think that there are people that he did impact. Clearly there are. There's clones of him out there now that are doing his work, at some level. Men and women. And there's people that clearly got married on the back of his what he spoke about, because we could see that because he had groups where people were actually getting married. So there was some tangible impact that he did. I don't think it was just all entertainment. But clearly not all. If you got people actually getting married or people's lives actually changing, I don't think you can turn around and say it's just impact. It's just entertainment. I do believe there was an element of entertainment to what he did because he's on YouTube and it is the element of entertainment. It's always going to be there. He has to make it engaging. So yes, there was viral moments that he created and stuff, but I think it's a bit harsh to suggest that it was all in vain or it was all entertainment.
I think what Hassan is trying to communicate is that he didn't lead with religion.
That's fine. I agree with him.
But the thing is, I don't think he could have led with religion because, first of all, what he was doing wasn't a religious ministry. what his intentions were to show how liberalism is delusional. That was his intention, and he used. And you don't have to even use religious arguments to prove that liberalism is delusional. You can just logical arguments will lead you will lead someone to agree with you that liberalism is religious. He did that. He did that just by asking several questions. Just several questions. When I say liberalism, I'm talking about ideologies like feminism and so on and so forth. This is what liberalism truly is. This is the ideologies that come out of liberalism, not secularism. Two different things. Secularism and liberalism are two different things. So, so I think he didn't. What Hassan's criticism is, he didn't lead with he didn't lead with religion. That's his criticism. And of course, for a person that's religious, that's the way to do it. But the fact is this: you don't have to. If I can prove you wrong without even using religion, I don't have to. I don't have to use religion. I can just prove you wrong, and then I can lead you to religion after that. I can just use logical argument to show that communities that don't get married will self-destruct, and this is a fact. I can just use logical arguments to prove that. I don't even need to use religion. I don't even need to use God to show that reality. So I mean, I understand what Hassan is saying.
Can I add this quick point too? I mean, let's just be honest. I don't want to deviate from the conversation too much, but I have to make this point. There are people that claim to be very religious of a certain religion. Just say that. That claim to be very religious, who have been exposed for making a mockery of religion of marriage.
Yes, Mohammed Hijab. Anyway, so, what is wrong with me, man? I need to shut up. I need to be locked away and just cancelled. That's what I need. Anyways, the thing is, I know Hassan's gonna wait, but the thing is, I don't believe a religious person is a perfect person. I don't believe a religious person. I think even religion teaches us that we are not perfect. I think to be a religious person is acknowledge that you are not perfect, that you are sinful, that you will do wrong. So I don't condemn Mohammed Hijab. I mean, I'm against what he did, but the fact that he sinned, I'm not surprised as a religious person. I don't.
Again, Nelson, that's your opinion.
No.
Hold on. According to Hassan, he isn't sinned.
It is a sin. No. I'm not saying
that. According to Hassan, he hasn't sinned.
I don't know where we're going.
Okay.
I just want to put it out there.
Okay. Oh, that's different then. That's different. Because if Hassan was saying that he did sin, like for example,
Hassan has never said that he sinned.
Oh, that's actually very true. And I've said that those priests that have abused children, they have sinned. They have sinned and they were wrong and they need to be locked up. Because it goes against the actual faith, the actual standard that Jesus Christ set. So to me, they were wrong and they need to be put in jail and the key needs to be thrown away.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that if we're going to do that to have a go at Kevin Samuel, who didn't claim to be any type of religious,
Oh, he did. He said.
I think it's a bit harsh. That's what I'm going to say.
I said he was. He did say he was a Christian. He defended the Christian.
Yeah, but he didn't say he was a Christian,
a practicing. Pastor, Yes. He didn't say he was a practicing Christian. He did not say that. He did not say that. He did say that he was a Christian and he did defend. He did defend the Christian faith. Anytime anyone wanted to test him on it, he did defend it, and he went hard on them for even. But he never said. Excuse me. He never said he was a practicing Christian. He never said that. So,
or a leader, or pastor, or reverend.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I'm not saying he imposed it on anybody, or we all know that. I don't think anybody's saying that. I'm not saying that. You're not saying that. He just presented better options to people, better options than the lives that they're living, and he used marriage and stable households as the objective and the end goal. I can see that, but again, it was pretty much just entertainment. and it was it was
You
it
don't
was.
think the fact
I
that people
don't
got
think it was
married means
entertainment,
anything,
bro.
Hassan? The fact that
Sorry,
people actually got married.
I didn't hear JM say that again. Sorry.
No, you don't think that the fact that people actually got married based on him and his example, and I guess you could call it his the fact that he
Guidance.
created marriage groups and people got married and gave him the credit for getting married. You don't think that counts for anything?
Okay, I'll respond to that. I'll answer that question. That's a fair question.
Yeah.
But something about Muhammad hijab and a sin. Something about I condemn the Catholic priest
Don't
for
worry about that. Don't worry
abusing
about
children,
Don't worry about
but Muhammad Hassan hasn't. What was that about?
I
that.
didn't say that.
Don't worry about that, bro. Forget that. Don't worry about that.
Okay, were there jokes?
Huh?
No, I wasn't joking. But what I was making is that
I wasn't joking either.
that you know there are people that you would consider to be religious and who have acted in a way where you haven't considered them as sinful.
How do you know?
Because you've never said you specifically been asked, was you sin? And you said no. You know me, I've got very good. One thing you guys should know is I've got a very good memory.
Okay,
I'll be honest with you. You know, I don't usually agree with JM on the WhatsApp.
you always agree with JM.
When the WhatsApp group, but he has a point. You know, Hassan has never really condemned Mohammed hijab for Hassan, and I'm only saying this because you brought it back up again. Because I want to. You brought it back up again. So you never really condemned Mohammed hijab for that.
What am I condemning him for?
Well, is a person that claims to be religious. He
made a mockery of marriage. He made a mockery of marriage. He about people getting married in McDonald's and all that kind of stuff.
He fell short. He fell short of the standard by for missing marriages and all of that type of stuff. He fell short, and he never held himself accountable. He never came out and apologized. He never said I was wrong for what I've done. He never did any of that. And one thing that we also did notice, me and JM, and we had private conversations about that you never condemned that publicly.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't generally go into people's personal lives and comment on those things. I feel a bit uncomfortable. But what am I? You said he didn't measure up to the standard. Which standard?
Hassan actually just proved me wrong. He is absolutely right. What standard? I was for a minute there. I was judging it by Christian standards.
You put the sleight of hand in there, and I'm supposed to oppose a second marriage. I have no problem with second, third, or fourth marriage. I have no issues with that. Do I agree with the idea of hiding your first marriage, your second marriage, your first? I don't agree with that.
Miss your marriage. Come on, bro. Let's be clear.
No. Okay, well, a miss your marriage isn't by definition hiding your second wife. I don't know. I'd have to look into the details of that, but I don't think. It seems a bit suspicious to me. I don't like the idea of a secret wife. You have a wife and you have a second wife, and both should know of one another. And there should be no lying to a woman and saying, "Oh yeah."
So he was wrong then. So he was wrong then.
In my belief, I'd have to look at the details. That's
what you kept saying. That's it. That's what you kept saying. I've got to look at the details.
Can I finish? JM, can I finish?
Yeah.
Because I'm not running. I'm not running away from the topic. So
this ain't what's up, bro. This is a whole different ball game, bro.
It's not.
I'm joking, Hassan. Don't run away, please. Hassan, don't run away, please.
Come on, don't troll. Don't come on. I'm literally here. So yeah. So what was I saying? I'd have to look at the details. So if it's permissible, which I feel like it isn't. I haven't looked at the details, but I feel like the idea of hiding your first wife from your second wife, or whatever, secret marriages. That's it. That's the term. I feel wrong, but I'd have to double check. If it's
can you see my point, Hassan? Though, can you see my point? I'm getting to your point. You see the point I'm making. Okay.
I'm getting to your point. Okay. So your point being, in a sense, as I've understood it, a subjective moral standard or my own moral standard, projecting it onto him, when the nuances within my own standard could be so vast, and he's got tangible results, which are people get tangibles,
Also, the fact that you're kind of saying that it was all entertainment, and there was there was no really religious.
Yes, I'm
The
definitely
religious,
getting to that point. I
but
see
from an
the
actual religious, a man that professes to be religion,
yes.
Mm,
you haven't really condemned his real behavior in the same manner.
that's right. That's right.
That's the point I'm making.
Mm,
Oh,
that's
okay. I haven't
that's
condemned that. Okay. Here's why I
that's a
feel
good point.
comfortable. Is it you want to
Uh,
say something, Octavio, or something?
Sorry, bro.
You
Yeah.
mumbling in the breath.
I was just gonna say that was a good point.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, hype man. Yeah, it's good. So, here's why I feel comfortable just jumping to a judgment of Kevin Samuels and being quite precise about my words and referring to as entertainment and things of that nature. The goal can't. I feel like morality is subjective. I don't see why do what objectives do these women have to get married? Like, okay, yeah, well, you're less likely to have this, and well, then in their minds, they think, well, no, I want to be free, and I want empowerment, and also I don't want to pay for anything, and also I want this kind of man, also I want this, and they've whittled away their most valuable years because 32, 33, whatever. I think this other one, she says she's like 28 or 29 or something. I don't want to be judgmental, but I'll say it anyway. These women are buffoons to a certain degree. They've really wasted a lot, and the other women that he had on the panel were just completely all over. Because I say this because women are far more vulnerable to promiscuity or not being married and not having a stable house or not finding a good husband than the average man could ever be in most cases, right? They face less consequences. Being a single mother and having kids to raise is far more difficult than being a single man in life. So I think, well, what it can't be do good for the sake of doing good and make these women's lives better. It's not something that I value. It's got to be for a greater purpose, and it's got to be for a greater, because who are these people? They've been stupid. Let them suffer. And if you're gonna save them, let it be for a greater moral purpose. It can't be, well, I'm saving the Black African American community. Okay, and I mean, if it wants to destroy itself, let it destroy itself. If you
But
want to save it,
don't you
that's
think
good.
marriage? Don't you think marriage is a greater purpose? Is a great
In
moral?
and of itself, no. In and of itself, because pagan traditions, they always used to get married before the Abrahamic faiths. Most societies get married in some form, or they have some sort of religious ceremony. Hindus have the highest marriage rates, and they're pagans from a Christian perspective, or from from a monotheistic perspective. The idea of marriage being able to preserve a culture and society, yes, but what's the moral purpose? It's not enough to sustain any good. It can be subverted in some form or another. If he said, get married because God says so, and if you don't, you're going to hell, and blah, okay, I could respect that. But get married because it's good for you and it's good for society and it's good. Who cares? And there's not enough to motivate them. Yeah.
If his advice to a man was, have a marriage, get married, get a side chick, don't tell the first wife, go to hotels and cover your head and her head, and come out and kind of joke and laugh about it. Is that better? Is that better kind of advice? Is that better kind of
Yes.
Is that better?
Not necessarily, no. Could be just as bad, maybe worse. Sounds worse.
Okay, but I mean, this is the condemnation is not really the same. You're not really condemning that. I have to go back to that because you know what I mean.
Why the double standard?
It's just, because you're condemning a non-religious man for putting marriage and saying that marriage is a
not condemning
potential way to impact the society, and then the religious man who from your own kind of, I think you're suggesting he did make a bit of a mockery of his own marriage. Let's say we'll sort of think about. I think he made a mockery of marriage, generally speaking, by talking about being married, about McDonald's and having McDonald's and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure, that's true. I agree with that.
So
I condemn him for that.
But the condemnation wasn't there.
I'm condemning him now. Yeah.
Okay.
Muhammad Hijab. is quite reckless at times.
Do you
And he,
condemn?
as completely no, because I wouldn't condemn Kevin Samuels completely no.
No, do
I'm
you
talking about
condemn his behavior?
who?
Do you condemn Mohammed Hijab's behavior?
That's a wide statement. He does some good things. He does some things that look great.
In relation to the Muslim marriage.
In relation to what I've heard, which is a secret wife and hotel, and no, I don't respect that at all. It seems condemnable.
I don't want to say. I don't want to. I'm not asking whether you respect something or don't respect anything. I'm saying, do you condemn it?
But back to Kevin Samuels. I think he did a lot of. It's entertainment. It was very entertaining.
Look, can I just say sorry, nothing to do with Mohammed Joe. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I think your sorry guys, there's this thing, there's this
I think it's
background.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
Let me just make this nice and quick, right? You said something about yes, even pagans get married and so on and so forth and all of that. The reason why I'm still hearing that sound in the back, guys. Yes, you're absolutely right. Even pagans get married and so on, but that just proves
That sound is not me, by the way, because I'm on mute.
might be Hassan. Then. What that proves is that marriage is helpful, regardless of what God you believe in. It is helpful if this is why the Catholic Church recognizes it, secular marriage also. It recognizes religious marriage. It says that religious marriage is the best marriage to have because there's a moral obligation that comes upon you, but it also recognizes secular marriage because the marriage institution there are things that God has set up on earth that we know instinctively that will help us. We know that raising a nuclear family is better for us. We don't need a revelation from God to let us know that this is the case. We don't need a revelation from God to let us know that marriage is a good thing. We can all see the benefits of it, the results of it. So so to say that he preached marriage was a good thing, but because he was not leading with God, or he was not talking about marriage in relation to following a religion or following God, that somehow is a stain on his message towards the African American community. I think that's wrong.
I think it's wrong because essentially what Hassan is saying is that because he's not a Muslim, that's why his message is not as impactful as it could have been. And I think that type of framing is not really fair. I don't think that's fair.
I'll even clarify.
Hassan, before you answer, let me just say this. I think what thing he did, Kevin Samuels, he used the principles, he used what he learned from the Christian faith, and he tried to, in a sense, break it down in a secular way to secularists, or break it down in a secular way, in a secular way to liberals. So that's what he did, and also by highlighting the importance of marriage and so on and so forth. He didn't even use religious arguments. He used historical arguments in order to prove that marriage is what you need in order to create a society and so on and so forth. He hardly used that. So I think that's what he was trying to do. He was just trying to communicate, because people are so dismissive of religion these days. They're so dismissive of God. They're so dismissive of thinking. I think he thought the best way to reach them. But what I'm really trying to say is, he learned these principles. He learned his knowledge from the Christian faith, and he took all of his knowledge, and he decided to break it down for them in a secular way, in a way that a secularist, a liberal, will understand.
Before I respond to JM's general assessment of my statements, you said the Catholic Church recognizes secular marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Does it recognize Islamic marriages?
No. Islamic marriage is not secular marriage, is it?
It is a secular marriage.
Islamic marriage is a secular marriage.
Well, secular in the perspective that it's not a Catholic marriage. So,
Is
okay,
Islam? Let me ask you: is Islamic marriage, is that secular marriage or not?
no, it's not a secular marriage.
Is it, or is it not?
No, no.
So,
But you're saying that it recognizes, the Catholic Church recognizes religion, marriages that have nothing to do with God but the state. But if it's an Islamic state marriage, it won't recognize it.
yeah, Islamic marriage is why would it? Islamic marriage is no state. It recognizes state marriage.
Okay.
A religious marriage is something that have you ever been to a state? Okay, guys, again, bear feedback, please, bro. Mute it for me. The state marriage has nothing to do with religion. It's purely to do with the state. Okay, so there is no mention of God or what God you believe in and blah blah blah. There's none of that. It's a state marriage. So the Catholic just recognizes state marriage, but he will not recognize regular religious marriage. Like for example, non-Christian religious marriages. He will not recognize that.
So, but if a Muslim gets married in an Islamic state, the Catholic Church will recognize it, right?
In an Islamic state.
Yeah. Like
If
Saudi, somebody got a Saudi marriage certificate.
No, it will just it will recognize the fact that it was a state marriage.
Okay, cool. A Saudi state marriage, fair enough.
Saudi state isn't that religious state?
You can. Yeah, I think the Catholic Church will still recognize it as.
Hold on, is the Saudi a religious state or a secular state?
It's a religious state.
Then why are you bringing that?
So it recognizes state marriage. It's fine. I get it.
All right, go on, bro.
So an Islamic state marriage would be recognized by the Catholic Church. That's all I wanted to clarify. But you gave a bit pushback. A bit of a gag reflex. But yeah, getting a bit of feedback there. So JM's point, I think, is correct in assessing how I see Kevin Samuels. I saw it as mainly entertainment. I wouldn't refer it to he was doing good work. It was funny.
Well, what about the entertainment aspect of it, JM?
I think I acknowledge the fact that there was an entertainment aspect to it. There was definitely viral moments, and to get followers on YouTube, you have to create viral moments, and there has to be an element of shock value, I think, which he brought into it. There has to be an element of combativeness, again, that brings eyes to stuff. So yeah, at times, and there were times when I never agreed with everything he did or said, by the way. There was times where I mean, there was one thing he said that I really thought, I think when he went a little bit too far, when he kind of said that if you're over a certain age, it's like you're dead. And if he used the word dead or you're out of something, there's a word that he used to describe women that was a very, very harsh.
Out of stock sale or something?
Something like out of stock, it was quite harsh. And I thought that was a little bit. Again, I think it was a bit of an attempt to create a bit of controversy to bring his point home. But I did think at that point, I thought he kind of went a bit too far there and started, came across a little bit cruel. And I've always said this too. I don't think Kevin Samuels was someone I probably would get on with in real life. I always used to say that. I think I didn't come across as a people person or someone that, there was something about his personality that I probably wouldn't have liked in getting to know him. But I'm not going to take away that from the overall message and how what he did. But yeah, he wasn't perfect.
No, I'll be honest with you. I like the stuff that you said you didn't like. It was a bit too harsh. I think that's the part that I love most about him, because reality is harsh, and he's someone who understood the gravity of the problem. Whereas a lot of people these days don't. They don't understand how important having a nuclear family is. They don't understand how important marriage is. They don't understand even how much they've destroyed their own community to the point where they're actually non-existent. It's like they don't understand these things. And what he was basically saying is, stop being stupid. Things are not going to fix for them. Things are not going to fix themselves. You have to take action. You are in a state where you are in danger, and I think that's what he was doing. So whenever he
Fact.
used that type of terminology, I think that he wasn't being harsh at all. He was basically trying to get people to understand the gravity of the actual problem that they were in. I agree with a lot of what he said. But the only thing that I would criticize him on would be that you know, not every time he would interact with a woman or speak to a woman or have conversations with a woman, and after he kind of, you know, exposed their delusion, not every time he would say you need to get married. And I think he did that, but not all the time. He goes, well, you need to go back to that man, you need to stay with that man, and so on and so forth. He didn't always emphasize marriage, but yes, ultimately, what he wanted, and that's why I respect him a lot. Ultimately, he did want marriage, but he did not always push it on every single delusion that he managed to pull from these women. So that's what I would say about it.
Can I add something as well? Just to can I say something?
After what I said, it's impossible. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, to speak positively about some of the things that you said, besides being very entertaining, watching the women, that delusional is one way to describe it, but I think that's maybe too polite. They were like sheep without a shepherd, and he was almost doing charity work by interacting with them, because they're lost sheep, and just the things that they say and the things that they do and the time of life that they're in and the mindset that they have. These were ultimately women, because there's one woman that was talking to him and he said, oh, do you have a brother? You have a father? Blah, 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 blah. And he goes, why are you not speaking to them? Why are you speaking to a stranger on the internet? And I'm thinking to myself, that's absolutely right. The level of confidence. So some background noise. The level of confidence. Oh, okay. The level of confidence sharing such details with a stranger online, although he was respectful and he was really being how can I say, an elder to them in terms of taking responsibility to a certain degree and how he speaks to them, what he guides them towards. The level of misguidance, like as I said, like sheep without a shepherd, that he interacted with. It's a real. No matter how harsh his language is, his audience is far more shocking to just observe. They observe their mindset, they observe their state of circumstances, and it's really an indication of how the men in Western society, not Western society, but certainly the men that were in the sphere of any of the women that that were on the panel have allowed these women to go astray. Because ultimately, I think it's the father or it's the husband that should. As men, I think we have responsibility. Or I say, but men are like, from a religious perspective, because my opinion isn't that important. Men are the caretakers of the world, where they're stewards of the world, right? In my opinion, no, not my opinion, from the Islamic perspective, and that and I think it would probably similar from the Christian perspective, and I think that produces the best outcomes, whether it does or doesn't. I think that's the moral for me. The Islamic is a moral objective, and this is a clear. This show or his show really exposed how men have allowed their women to go astray to the point where they're just going online for guidance to random men. Hey, I'm this age, I'm that age. Why are you not going to other women? Why are you not going to your fathers? Why are you not going to? Because they're lost.
Just add some of that.
Yeah,
some of that Hassan was them looking for their own viral moment, or wanting to be seen. There was a little bit of that going on too. But one thing that what you're saying in terms of what you exposed, and never forget one scenario where this older woman had just came on the. Well, I think maybe one of her younger nieces or something was watching him, and she just came on like, I don't know, I've been hearing about you. I just want to know what it is you got to say. Like, just very arrogant and, you know, older lady. So I guess she thought that she was speaking to one of her sons or something. And he started speaking. And she's like, well, what do you know? What are you going to say? So he said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be quiet now. Seeing as I don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking to these young girls, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to give you the floor. You got about 10 minutes now. Just tell you do what you think I'm not doing. You do it right now. The woman just looked blankly at the screen. He literally just looked at the screen and couldn't say one word. And I thought, wow, right there was one of the most, one of his best moments. Because she had nothing to say.
Yep.
All she
I,
had came to do is to critique him and to basically bad mouth him. And when he gave her the floor to say, well,
she
I'm
had no,
doing it wrong. You do it right. Here you go. Here's a mic. And you know how he just sat back. And she didn't have anything to say.
and you know what, Jam, you brought up a great point. Yeah, a lot of people think, they associate entertainment with something bad. Oh, it's entertaining, it's bad. It's not at all. It's not at all. Entertainment is not bad, and I think he didn't necessarily seek out to be entertaining. I think he presented himself in a very, I mean, I like the way he presented himself. The suit,
Professional.
in a professional manner. I think what was entertaining was people's delusion. I think what was
Yeah.
entertaining was the fact that we can see how delusional people are in real life.
Yeah.
That's what was entertaining about it. I don't think he wasn't doing magic tricks. He wasn't
Yeah.
doing a trick for you to be entertained by, for you to be like, oh wow, look at that. He was just speaking to people, and he was just asking several questions, and people would they answers, they response to those questions. That's what was entertaining to us. Of course, once when you hear something delusional, you're gonna make a face, and when he made a face, then people found that entertaining. Yes, he had the I don't know if knows this one. When he played that military salute, that was
Yo,
entertaining.
that was hilarious.
That was
That
hilarious.
was entertaining.
But
And
that's
the salute.
but that was after he proved his point. You understand? That's what. So I don't think he went out of his way to be entertaining. I think the truth was entertaining for us, and sometimes we tried to make him look like it was some guy that was doing tricks for us. No, all he was doing was people were calling in. He was asking them questions, and um, and then he was asking questions, and based on their answers, that people found those people answers delusional, and that was entertaining for us.
Yeah,
So
it was.
so he wasn't going out of his way. Let's just react. Let's just listen a little bit more to the video, guys, because I know we've been at this for an hour and 47, and then after that
Wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
34. We're talking about, are you single or are you married?
I'm single.
Any kids?
Yes, 2 boys.
So we're talking about, is it time to give up on this notion of an ideal or a dream guy?
It's so funny because I'm kind of like the last young lady that was on here. When I first started hearing your content, I was just like, I showed it to my mom, I showed it to her friends. I was like, y'all gotta and I'm a type of person where as long as I can understand, then I can kind of get with it. And it seems like more and more I'm really starting to get where you're coming from as far as you know, kind of us thinking we're special and not wanting to settle and stuff like that, and then not really believing we're modern women and so on and so forth. And so it's just like,
Hold on, hey, Tanisha, you need to get in the light. I can't see you.
Yeah, I am. I'm moving now.
So is it time to give up on the dream guy?
Yes, it is.
Okay, but you didn't say that. You said a lot, but you didn't say yes or no.
me,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I would have to say yes.
Why do you
simply
say
because
okay, you're 34, right?
yes,
2 kids. How old is your oldest?
15.
From a man's standpoint, why would you say you hate to say it when men think like this? The man you lost your virginity to was your first husband. That's how men think. If you got 2 kids, are they by different men?
No, the same.
Okay, the man you had a child with is your second husband. So you already were married with 2 kids. In a lot of men's minds, why would a woman, not you, but a woman like in that, get a dream guy? Why is this an average guy, not the dream?
I think society has just made us feel like life is a fairy tale. I have been told that a lot, like in relationships and by people that like I think life is a fairy tale. And I used to just feel like it's
You paused it, Nelson. Hello?
So, yo, guys, yeah, you know what? She said something that's actually very important, and
Yeah,
it's
I wanted to try. I'm glad you stopped it there.
yeah, because sheep without shepherds. That's something that Hassan talked about, and she was talking very much about how society, he's basically saying, so are you willing to give up on that ideal man or whatever, whatever your dream man is, based on the fantasies that's fed to you by society? And then she goes on to actually address the real issue, which is society makes them feel that way. Now imagine if society was religiously inclined, and it was all based on what the Bible says human beings should do and behave like and be like. Then these expectations would not exist. Women would not think, oh my days, I need this man to, an average man is not good enough for me. I need him to be super rich. I need him to have. They would not have these delusional expectations. So she went on to highlight that society plays a huge part on influencing these women from a very young age. And of course, you have to also take into account the fact that female nature is different than male. Sorry, a woman is different from a man, basically. We are very different. So women, this idea that you can get the perfect woman and the perfect man and the whatever, and he has to be super rich and all of that. Women are more susceptible to those to those things because of their nature, because of how emotional they are, and so on and so forth. Men are not so much. Men are not, oh, she's fertile, she's young, she's attractive, reasonably attractive. Okay, cool, I can make that work. An average woman wouldn't be an issue for a man. But for a woman, an average man now is an issue. And even today, in today's society, where people are supposed to have these delusional expectations, we don't see men will settle with pretty much anything. This average is not good enough. It's not a big issue for men, but for women it is. And this is what I'm saying about society having an influence on us, on how we behave and how we go forward. And that's what I'm saying. That's something I picked up on. Yeah, go ahead, guys.
I just wanted to make a quick point. What she said in terms of she doesn't know why so studies have shown that from a very early age, girls do not get taught about accountability. They get basically they don't their expectations are. So there's been studies that show that with the girls play, there's when boys play, there's this sense of boundaries. I can't do this. I'm not able to do this. I'm not equipped to do this. I don't deserve X, Y, Z. This is how young boys, when they observe how they play, you can see that they understand these concepts. But girls, when they watch girls playing, those concepts don't exist. And this is not me. This you can look at studies that have shown that. So this idea of like a fairy, being some type of princess mindset, is very embedded in young girls at a very early age. That I'm a princess. I deserve everything. I deserve the world. This is the concept that a lot of in the Western world only, by the way, you see this. You don't really see this outside of it. This concept that women are basically owed the world, and regardless of what they've done, regardless of their own behavior, they deserve the best of all things, regardless of whether it's not merit based. Basically, is what I'm saying. And you can see with how that's destroyed them in terms of how they've navigated relationships and how they can how the inability to learn from relationships, how that would impact that. If you have no concept of I've done this and this is the outcome, and maybe I should now rectify what I did before to get a different outcome. If you don't have that concept, you are going to be like this lady who you can see she's struggling with the concept that she shouldn't get the dream man. She shouldn't get the man that every other woman wants. You can see she's actually struggling with that concept. And you will not find a man in that situation with that
No,
kind
you
of
won't.
dilemma. You won't. But so many women, and to respect to her for acknowledging the fact that she even can't understand how her own mind is working. That she's struggling to understand why is her own mind pushing for this unrealistic, delusional outcome. So when you see that in someone and they can't even control it, you have to have some sympathy, I guess, in some way, for women that can't seem to help themselves. They can't seem to have this mindset.
Would you agree if we lived in a different society? I'm talking about a non-liberal society where, for example, people had to abide by religious strict rules, that women would feel accountable, would feel like they had some kind of accountability.
Yeah, because in the Bible, if you look from the Christian point of view, it talks about how before you become a wife, you're going to be a wife. You're going to show and prove that you're worthy to be picked.
There you go. Yes,
that straight
absolutely.
away destroys all that concept of I deserve, I must get, regardless of how I am or what I do, I deserve. All of that goes out the window because there's a meritocracy there where, oh, I don't just get picked. I have to actually show and prove. I have to show
Yes.
myself worthy.
Yes,
And that's missing. That's missing.
But and also, isn't it funny that liberalism is the opposite of that? It's like you are, and in a sense, hence why the accountability is not there. Hence why women don't care for accountability. So it almost pushes them to a delusional state of mind.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Bible, because of its moral rules and regulations, it holds them accountable because of its morals, rules, and regulations, and so on and so forth. But what liberalism is trying to do is do the opposite of that. Is there is no moral rules and regulations. It's about how you feel. It's about what you want. It's about you can do no wrong. Because if it's how you feel, there's always a justification for it. And it's about not condemning you for your bad behavior and so on and so forth. It's about basically getting rid of all morals, of all obstacles that stops you from feeling how you feel. And this is the reason why women don't feel like they don't feel like they need to be held accountable or something. But the thing is, it's funny that biologically, when they get to that point, biology doesn't let them forget of accountability. They might be able to do it morally, always trying to justify their actions and so on. But when they get up to a certain age and they realize that they're lonely and they go free kids by a bunch of men that don't want them, they have to come to that in reality. Like, okay, I'm 34, I'm 32, no one wants me, and I've got 2 free kids. It's like, okay, I can't keep living the way I was living, and so on and so forth. I can't keep doing the same thing. So biology actually holds them accountable, which is crazy. Morally, they don't feel like they're being held accountable. It's like biology has to do the job. Yeah. Hassan, what's your thoughts on that?
Islam obviously would be a better solution than the liberalism and Christianity.
But you agree with me. You agree with me, though.
I do agree with you, but there's one thing you didn't mention.
What?
There's one word which I think summarizes your whole point. What's it called? Individualism. Yeah. Because this is what this all is. It's like, okay, you're an individual. Okay, fair enough. You are on an island, and then now they're marooned it, right? In their later stages in life, and now you're stuck. And he's trying to say, hey, those, coconuts aren't people. That you're dehydrated because you've been stuck on this island for so long on your own. In terms of your connection to a moral society, that now you have to kind of wake up and lower expectations of having an expectation of someone who would be ideal for you, and maybe settle for someone who is available to you. And some of the choices that you've made have led you down here, and it's commercialism as well. It's be an independent woman. You can go get it. You can do whatever. And all those issues. And the interesting is it's cross-racial, so it doesn't matter if you're African American, white European. If you've lived in the culture long enough, you adapt and acclimatize to your cultural identity can erode away, and the boundaries. Because you see this in the British Muslim community as well, where especially the British Arab community, where a woman will be discouraged to get married, until she gets her PhD, and women will be encouraged to get an education all the way to PhD level, and the men will be asked to get education and so on and so forth, and have X amount and so on and so forth, and what have you. Although the culture is still giving a bit of pushback, you can see that individualism really eroding away at the culture to a certain degree. Not all cultures, but enough that it's visible. And to the point where guys in often go back to their original countries and find a wife there and then bring them to the UK. And it's quite common. People that I've grown up with have done that, from Middle Eastern backgrounds. And I was quite surprised because what they had some of the examples I'm thinking of in my mind, they had girlfriends. They tried to make it succeed. It didn't work. And then they went back home and found a girl there and then brought her here. And it really shows you, how it's an epidemic to a certain degree, that not the freedom of women, because freedom for women isn't an inherently bad thing, but it's freedom with what boundaries for men and for women. And this is one thing I really despised about the Red Pill, that co-opted his message, because he was better than the Red Pill, despite my low opinion of his show, as being noted by JM. He was better than the Red Pill. The Red Pill was just pure hedonism. His push was for more an awakening and awareness, and then usher them in towards more suitable couples. So lowering the wild expectations of women. I remember there's one girl who was on there, one woman. She was in her late 20s, and she said, "I want a rich man and who's got good looks and who's this and who's that." And he goes, "What does he need to be good looking for?" And she goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're the good looking one. You're meant to be good looking. What does his beauty do for you? He's meant to provide for you, And she was flabbergasted by it. That the aesthetic isn't a priority for you as a woman. It's meant to be, can he provide for you and protect for you and be there and so on and so forth. Don't be deluded into these sitcoms and these soaps and these whatever shows and this man and that man. But what we're doing in capitalism to a certain degree in Western society, what society is doing through individualism and whatnot, is exploiting each other and leaving a lot of people stuck in these type of situations where their dreams of picking and choosing what partner they want and then throwing them away and then so on and so on and then being left, in a horrible situation on both sides. This is because the red pill men are in the same position. They need a Kevin Samuels. I'll be honest with you. The red pill men who the red pill is causing problems.
Why
like
you say that?
Yeah.
It's funny you said it because I actually believe
Great point.
Kevin Samuels would have turned on I actually think he would have turned his message to red pill. I think he actually would have been so disgusted with what was happening in the red pill community. And the fact that he was actually even kind of falling out with some of the major red pill guys, he was falling out with Myron. He didn't really like, who's the other guy they call the godfather of the red pill? What's his name? Kamasi or what his name is?
Roller.
There was some friction there. There was obviously friction with Myron. There was some friction with the other guy that I forgot what his name is. So I actually think they would have turned on him, and I think he would have actually, his content may have gone.
How do you know they haven't already? How do you know they were the ones that killed him in the end? Rounding off the conspiracy theory.
I don't know.
Maybe they put the pill in.
But it definitely was going that way. I believe it. He would have done what me and Nelson did. He's
the Charlie Kirk of the manosphere. They assassinated him to stop him turning on.
Too far now.
Okay.
Now the analogy is getting a bit uncomfortable for me.
He definitely was, but I would say that the final message, the point of his mission was to get people married again. That was his objective. That was his objective. And if you don't want to get married, at least stay together. That was his objective. And that involved dismantling and in the process of achieving that objective, he dismantled feminism and dismantled all of that. The red pill. The red pill has been perverted. If the red pill is supposed to mean the truth, then it has been perverted by all the other platforms around him. James is absolutely right in saying that he would have turned on them. He would have turned on them because their objective was different. Their objective was about hedonism. The objective was about using women for their own sexual desires and throwing them away. The objective was selfish in nature. His objective was not selfish in nature. His objective was to do with becoming, to me, a masculine man is a man that takes care of a family, because it's only in that family environment that you truly get to show your masculinity. You get to protect and you get to protect. It's not in I'm by myself right now and I'm a masculine man. No, you're not. You're satisfying your selfish needs. That's it. You're just taking care of yourself. Masculinity has nothing to do with taking care of myself. It has to do with taking care of others. It has to do with providing for others, protecting others. That's what masculine. And there is no better environment than the nuclear family for you to prove that. You're taking care of a woman, you're taking care of the children, you're taking care of your community, and when people see you doing that develops trust. I trust. Listen, there's a reason why employers like married men. They like married men because they can trust that, because they know these guys are fighting.
Politicians.
Yeah, exactly. They are doing. They're fighting for something. They are accountable to something. A single man is not accountable for anything. And what Myron was pushing in the whole Fresh and Fit thing was basically a single man that uses women for sexual gratification and has no responsibility. You can't trust a man like that. And he was completely, utterly against that, because one thing I learned about Figgy, it was very much about accountability. That's what he was really about, is holding you yourself as accountable for your actions. He held women accountable for their actions. He held men accountable for their actions. Yes, he blew up when he started focusing on women, and but for 3 years he held men accountable for their actions. Do you see what I'm saying? And yes, he would have turned on the red pill, on so-called, I'll call it so-called red pill, because he was the true red pill. If red pill is to mean the truth, then yes, he was the real red pill, and he would have literally annihilated everyone. That's what I believe in. He would have literally turned against everyone. He would have gone to war with them, and he would have. But the thing is, he wasn't even trying to put himself in their level. I don't think he even liked them. I don't think he liked a lot of these guys. And I used to see how he would avoid talking about them. He would avoid even mentioning them on his show. It's just like, and people would bring it up, and he was just like, we don't do that here, because he understood that he was something completely different from what they were. And he had his criticisms, but he made sure he was classy about it. You know what I mean? He made sure that I'm not gonna address these guys, you know what I'm saying, because they're not on my level. They know who I am. They're not part of my mission. They're not in that, you know what I mean? They're just idiots. You know what I'm saying? That's really, he looked down on them. You know what I'm saying? I would never ever compare Kevin Samuels to Friendship Fit and what's his name with that idiot name, the one the Friendship Tomasi. Like, these guys are jokers. They're stupid. They're idiots. They're imbeciles.
They're grifters.
Yeah, they're grifters. Yeah, exactly. To me, it's just hedonism. That's what they preach.
They're shepherds regaling on their duties, because they're meant to be shepherds. They're meant to be doing the opposite of what they're doing, which is pushing Kevin to do all this heavy lifting on the other end.
But I'm saying they were the ultimate grifters, because what they did is they took advantage of men that were inadequate. Kevin Samuels made those men he put them accountable. He said, you are inadequate, and this is why you are. And this is what you need to do about it. That's what he did. Those guys, they actually supported they put it on women.
Yes. And the women that came who needed help, who were on the earlier stages compared to these women, because these women are in their late 30s facing the consequences of their actions, they were encouraging those women, right? You're stupid, you're this, you're that, you're only good for this, blah, 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 blah. And they'll just sleep with them and then, put their OnlyFans on the whatever. But he's telling them, hey, all that stuff you did, now you're paying the price for it. Don't do it. Keep away from it. So on and so. These guys are pushing. They're feeding the machine.
Who was Myron's sidekick again? What's his name?
Tomasi. Tomasi.
No, the sidekick, the guy from Barbados.
Oh, Fresh.
Coconut. Him.
Fresh.
Coconuts, apparently his name was.
Oh, shut up, man. Come on, man.
So that guy, imagine if that Fresh guy called up Kevin Samuels talking about that this woman took advantage of me, the Chinese woman. What do you think? What do you think Kevin Samuels would have told him?
Oh my days, man. Oh my days, man. My days. But the thing is, one thing about Kevin Samuels is when you see a normal person listening to Fresh and Fit, they would come out of it thinking, I hate women. Women are the problem. Women are the issue. Women are the reason why this is all happening. Why we have all these problems. If they listen to Kevin Samuels, they would come out thinking, okay, I need to do better. I need to make better choices. I need to I can see that certain women are delusional. So I need to avoid those women. I need to go for good women. I need to what and what. That's what you see the difference. You see the difference when this is the outcome of someone listening to Kevin Samuels in comparison to someone listening to Fresh and Fit. They would come out thinking differently. On the Fresh and Fit side, I hate women. On the Kevin Samuels side, you know what? I need to hold myself accountable. I need to choose better women. I need to make sure I avoid these type of women. I need to make sure that I become a better, man myself in order to be able to do this and do that. I mean, it's two completely different outcomes. You know,
Can I
but
make
There's
another
on the Kevin.
observation?
Sorry,
Go on, go on.
yeah,
Go, you go
sorry.
on.
Before I forget, because if I quickly scan Kevin Samuels' talking points, it's accountability, as you said.
yeah,
But on this podcast, the podcast has repeatedly pointed out the excuses that the Fresh and Fit guys have. Oh, well, she tricked me. She told me she was from a rich Chinese family, but it turns out she's a prostitute, blah, blah. Oh, she liked me, but she wanted kids, but I can't give her kids. Oh, we told you not to be with that girl. Now you're lonely. We need to get yourself some friends. It's the blind leading the blind with commitment. A blind leading the blind with confidence on the Fresh and Fit show, which sums up the red pill and a lot of unfortunate hedonistic content that was produced out there. The Kevin Samuels, all due respect to him, he had a lot of. It's nothing but accountability from there was no dunking on people for the sake of dunking. Because if a person came to that conclusion on themselves, it'd be fine. But if they fought, then there'll be a bit of back and forth. But nothing but accountability. And unfortunately, this is again a byproduct of I'm my own God and I do as I wish.
I tell you one thing again. It's kind of a side point, but to me, it's very relevant because it's interesting because it shows you the trajectory of Myron. But I never forget when we had these incels on our platform, and one particular Mexican. Well, I think he was Mexican, but he with the blonde hair. I forgot what his name is. That guy.
Jake.
Oh yeah. I remember when he brought up Kevin Samuels. This is all he took from Kevin Samuels, and he brought it to the group once. Kevin Samuels didn't like black women.
I remember this.
That's the only thing that he took from Kevin Samuels.
Wow.
And that to me tells you everything you need to know about that form of red pill and the Myron follower. Look what Myron's saying now. Myron's now calling black people primates. He's referring to black people as primates. Casually now.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's calling Muslims
I
foreigners.
saw a video recently, and these all it was black people in the museum. They weren't acting like they were in a museum. Just in a museum, because the museum is owned by someone he doesn't like. The person posted, "Look at my museum. Look what I'm doing." He said, "Look at these primates." So there you go. I mean that tells you everything to me.
Yeah, he has. He's getting worse by the minute.
He did one. Sorry.
Yeah, he did one about Islam as well, which I'm doing a big reaction to.
Oh my God.
He goes in on Muslims. He He tells them like, listen, man, this is not your country. You need to be thankful and all of that. But the thing is that's completely different from the point that JM was making, which is like he wasn't degrading them on a human level. He would just say, look, this is your religion. It's your religion, but you have no right to come here and impose and shut down like the Times Square and shut down all these places, trying to show some kind of dominance over their culture and all of that. That's not what you're supposed to do. Practice your religion in peace and just keep it moving and stop with all these and whatnot. And he tells a lot of truth in that. But the thing is, he's not attacking them on a human level. When you start talking about when you start talking about someone's color of skin, when you start describing people as primates, like you haven't evolved yet, like you don't have the capacity to think like every other human being. That's now what you're doing is you're dehumanizing them. Like that's what you do before you annihilate people. You dehumanize them. You make them lesser than. You make them less than you. You start looking at them as almost close to animals. That's what makes it easier for you to kill them. As soon as when you start looking at people like they're not even human, that will give you the right to feel like that will give you that feeling that you have the right to now kill them and annihilate them completely. because they're not even human yet. So when you're describing African Americans as when you start dehumanizing them on that level, and describing them as primates, yes, yeah, you're basically, you're calling for genocide. You're calling for the annihilation of that race. You know what I mean? If someone chooses to, but he's
That's-
not doing that to Muslims.
It's a step too far. It's a step too far. And his criticism of Muslims is pretty much as bad. But anyway, that's a difference of opinion. But he's done the criticism of race a lot longer because that appeals to his far right audience. But to track back to the topic at hand, it's maturity versus immaturity, and it's okay at a certain age, but to a certain point it becomes dangerous, and you face the consequences. These women face their consequences. He was waking them up. The red pill is prolonging the sleep. It's actually a sleeping pill, the red pill, turns out. It's not the truth. It's just a sleeping pill. So, yeah, he would have opposed the red pill, yeah.
All right, guys, let's have a final thoughts. Kevin Samuels, listen, guys, I want to do this every, 5 months or something, man. You know what I'm saying? And always remember Kevin Samuels on this channel. That's one thing I always want to do, because I think he was on the right track and he was helping the African American community. It's a shame that everyone turned on him. They always turn on people that speak the truth. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I've experienced that. I was in a WhatsApp group where there was a pro-black, a Muslim, and a liberal who turned on me for being a Catholic. So I relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Everyone always turns against the truth. But let's hear your final thoughts, guys. Jam, would you like to enlighten us?
I would, yeah. Yeah, I agree with Nelson on this. I think he should be honored
Absolutely.
much more. I think that that we took a lot from him. I mentioned the sign language. I didn't go into that, but I think that sign language was one of that I still use it up to this day when I'm in debates with people and I can see they're using it. It's a tremendous tool to use in the debate. So I got it from him. The salute was great. I'm glad that's reminded me of the salute. The salute and the music was. I mean, that was hilarious. I mean, Hassan's right. There was an element of entertainment there, and I did find that hilarious. But he used to do that salute with the music. At the end of the debate, he would just end the call and just go straight to the funeral. Basically, that was and he was saying it's over for that one. That's essentially what he was saying.
Yeah,
that used to crack me up. But yeah, I think I've said everything. I think he was killed. I do believe that he was taken out. I think he was doing some. I mean, his numbers were unbelievable. He had them over 1 million subscribers. He's one of the first people I saw that wasn't doing any kind of foolish gaming or pranks or whatever. That I saw with 1 million subscribers.
How many people watching him? Sorry, bro. I know it's your final thoughts.
Yeah,
but how many
go ahead.
people watching him a night?
God, he had hundreds of thousands.
That's crazy.
Bro,
Hundreds of thousands.
He had like
views.
almost 6,000-7,000 watching him one night. 10,000.
I think his subscriber base went up after he died. So he had 1 million. He's got 1.4. So
no, I'm talking about
the first time I saw that. And I remember people were talking
every night. Every night.
And people were amazed. All those people you see now, they kept talking about his level of subscribers. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe that he was the first one of that kind of as I said, outside of the pranking and the stupidness gaming, to get 1 million subscribers that I saw. And that was a landmark. The fact that he did that was unbelievable. The guy was even getting mainstream. He was actually in he was in a TV show. He had a cameo. So the guy was, and that's why I believe he was taken out because he was becoming mainstream. Kevin Sam would have his own show by now on TV.
Yes.
He would have had his own show on TV by now. He would not have been on YouTube anymore. Or he would have been on YouTube and on a major network with his own show. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Celebrities are reaching out to him. He was interviewing celebrities at this point. Yeah, this guy was literally going, he was, yeah. So that's why I genuinely believe he was taken out. But yeah, his legacy is still there, so we've got the video, we've got the channel. From now and again, I always pop in and just download one of his videos and catch up. That's how you doing this salute.
Yeah, yeah, bro. I'm sorry, I had to look for it, bro. I had to look for it. Bro, we have to end it on that note because that
We
was
have to end it with that.
we have to end it with that, bro. I don't care, bro.
But that's me.
Yeah,
That's me.
Yeah. Go ahead, son.
Yeah, so yeah, he's very entertaining. He said some, he helped right a lot of wrongs in people's minds and circumstances, I guess. But it would have been nice if he was around to see how he would have, because I agree with JM, he would have taken on the red pill. The red pill would have had a real issue with him. It would have been
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, there would have been a real conflict there because they are really burning their own building down and trying to take everything down with them, and they're ruining young men's lives as we speak with very bad hedonistic advice with what do you call it, smoke and mirrors, because their personal relationships are an absolute shambles, whether it be being with a variety of women every night and having no real purpose in life, or being conned by prostitutes allegedly, or what do you call it, finding a woman that suits him in every absurd way but just letting her go because apparently this person with a womb at some point wants to have kids, which is a shocker for some people.
That was an average man.
Yeah. Yes, it's the blind leading the blind, and yeah, unfortunately, there is no him being gone. There is no counterbalance to that because his voice was important in the current circumstances of people's relationships, unfortunately, and he was a shepherd to a lot of these lost sheep, but they're going to remain lost for until it all collapses, I guess. Yeah, that's me done.
My final thoughts is everything that we love Kevin Samuels for, he learned it from the religion that he came from, which is Christianity. He tried to apply those principles to what he was doing. That's really what was going on, and this is why Hassan rightly pointed out that he would have clashed with the so-called red pill world, because to me he was the real red pill. He was that truth, because women literally couldn't answer his like, just by answering his questions they exposed their own delusion, and he didn't actually have to do much. He didn't argue that much with people. It was literally, okay, by your own admission, you said this, you said that. Okay, do you see how delusional now that is? You know what I mean? It was that simple. But the thing is, the reason why I would say it's thanks to his religion is because the ultimate goal was always to build that nuclear family, to get married, and that's what he was pushing everyone to, because he understood what it takes to build a community. He understood that the nuclear family, without the nuclear family, there is no building, no community. There is none of that. As long as we keep with this single mother culture, and this is not something that's only affecting the African community, the African American community, or just African Europeans, or Caribbean Europeans. This is affecting every person. We don't see it as much in the European community because they are the majority, but soon we will see, because their families are also breaking down. It's so single mother households. So and he was combating that. He understood the problem, He understood the problem he wanted to fix. He wanted to go at the source. That was the beauty about Kevin Samuels. He was trying to fix the problem from the root. I believe he was also killed. I believe he was assassinated. I do not believe that man died through a heart attack. I don't believe in that at all. I believe that he was assassinated because he got the African American community to pay attention. I don't believe Fresh and Fit would have been as big as it got if he was around. I don't think Rollo Tomasi would have become as relevant as he was if he was around. I don't believe it. I believe the so-called red pill community that we currently have right now, or what it was during its peak time, because right now it's completely irrelevant. You know, channels like Fugazi and all of that, people don't even use red pill talking points anymore because these guys made a mess of it. But I don't think they would have been around. I don't even think they would have reached peak. Their peak, the peak that they managed to reach, if Kevin Samuels was around. He would have completely shut all that bullshit down. He would have. He really would have. So yeah, shout outs to him, and I think it's only right to and yes, let me just say the last thing, and that's thanks to his belief system, which is Christianity. Even though he wasn't a practicing Christian, he admitted that you know, the principle that he was teaching, ultimately it was Christian principles to build a family and so on and so forth. So the nuclear family. And now we're just gonna end it on this note. We have to, because that was where, listen. Guys, you have to keep the salute up. I hope your hand was up, you know, because my hand was
Mine was up. Mine was up.
listen, it's not serious, you know. Listen, even though I'm not on camera, but I'm saluting the hell out of it because I love that one. Like, and
That was a classic.
And you know what? That was so crazy, yeah, what he did, because that was when he tried. There was no more hope.
Yeah.
He tried.
That's the best part. It wasn't done all the time. It was done after a long conversation, and the person just couldn't get it. And he gave up. He said, he's lost. That was lost.
There was nothing else I could do. It's like he gave up. He washed his hand like Pilate. You know? He washed his hand. He goes, listen, man, I can't help the situation. I tried, guys. I tried. And he just, you know, you just give the salute, you know what I'm saying? And that's it, Rob. You know what I mean? Translate to the game. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
But I tell you what, again, I'll be fascinated to know what would have happened if he was still around with this whole.
He would have. What
would have happened with the No Fugazis? I don't think No Fugazi would exist if Kevin Sam was around. I honestly don't believe it.
No, none.
I don't believe that. What's that other strange one with those strange guys?
Whatever.
The black. Yeah, I don't think that would exist. I really don't believe half of these channels would exist.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for him.
Yeah. Even Andrew Wilson wouldn't be able to contend with him because his push was towards marriage, which is the real Christian.
No, but Kevin Samuels liked he liked Kevin Samuels.
No, I know he does, because Andrew Wilson flirted with what do you call it? He flirts with the red pill ideology. In not the Kevin Samuels version of the ideology, but the Fresh and Fit's version of the ideology. He flirts with that, and I don't think Kevin Samuels would have stood for that. I don't think Kevin Samuels. I don't think Kevin Samuels is in the business of insulting women or trying to put women down or trying to. And I'm sorry to say, but Andrew Wilson kind of made a career out of it in whatever podcast. You know, it became more, even though even though yes, some of these women are delusional, a lot of these women are delusional, and so on and so forth. But it looked more like it was about just like insulting these women rather than helping these women. You see what I'm saying? And Kevin Samuels, every time I heard Kevin Samuels talk, he was always trying to get them to come to their own set, to come to their senses and realize that marriage is the ultimate goal and creating a family is the ultimate goal and everything else is not that important. But with Andrew Wilson, what I've noticed in whatever podcast, everyone was kind of like loving the fact that he was just able to make these women look stupid. And the goal is not to make these women look stupid. The ultimate goal is to push these women to realize that, listen, this is what is right.
Yeah, I think Kevin Samuels was like 85% advice, 15% entertainment.
Yeah.
And I think the red
guys, as we speak, right? As we speak.
Yeah. I'm listening.
And guess how many people?
Oh, it's cutting out. It's cutting out. Can't hear you.
Me.
Can he?
Yeah. So as we speak, Fresh and Fit are live.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one of their dating shows, but they are live.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how many people are watching?
How many?
320 people.
Oh my days! Are you serious?
Look, Hassan, go and check. Go on Fresh and Fit right now and look at their live show that they've got on right now. 327 people.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, I want you guys to look for yourself.
Wow. No.
You see it?
No way. Yeah, you're right, bro. Oh my days. This is really bad.
Right, and these are the people that had 100. They used to have 100, 220k views.
Yeah. Yeah.
220k views they used to get.
My days, man. My
327.
There's no naked girls on there.
Nelson, you know you've had more than that before, Nelson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Wow.
That's a fact, man. Man, I should make
Hassan,
this.
what do you think about that, Hassan?
Patient, bro.
It's coming to. Well, yeah, as I was saying,
isn't that unbelievable when you really think about it?
Compared to
327 views.
Yeah.
Bro.
Compared to where it was before, yeah, it's but it's inevitable because they're 85% entertainment, 50 or maybe 90% entertainment and 10% advice. And they're giving crypto advice when the crypto market is crashing now and everybody's pretty much hates it and people have lost their lives over this. They've got naked girls after naked girls after naked girls, crash outs, racist topics. It can only this nonsense can only last for so long, and it's dying out. And I'm glad it's dying out. I'm glad it's been exposed for the lack of substance and how hollow it is. Because the longer it appears to be of substance, or appears to be, I mean, the worse it is for society. Because what they're selling is junk advice, junk, relationships and things like this. And unfortunately, it burns bright very quickly, but it goes out quickly as well.
Let me just say this, yeah. There's a difference between you proving someone wrong and getting one over them. That's entertaining to watch. Okay, that's entertainment to me. Yes, I've proved, how wrong you are, and people find that entertaining because I got one over you. There's a difference between that and proving someone wrong and proving someone wrong to help the person. If I'm just coming from, I just want to prove you wrong so I can make you look stupid or make you look like you a dumb idiot. That's not helping the person. But if I'm proving you wrong, but the intention is to help you, and to me, this is what Kevin Samuel was. He wasn't trying to prove you wrong to get one over you. He was trying to help you. He was trying to get you over that hurdle. He was trying to make you go in the right way. That was the reason why he would try and prove you wrong. but it wasn't a desire to like, oh, look how intellectually superior I am to you. Look how much I know over you. Look how much I want and whatnot. He truly wanted the best for you and for your life. It's two different things, you know. And some people sometimes conflate that. With Andrew Wilson, I'm sorry to say it, but his content is more about proving the person wrong rather than leading a person to its you know, the right place, you know, where they should. And I can see why Kevin Samuels would have liked Andrew Wilson, but Andrew Wilson to me is not. He needs to push if Christianity is what he's claiming, he needs to push that more. You know, that needs to be his intentions over. Oh, look how much I know more than you. Anyways, guys,
That's it
look,
for me, guys.
yep, we're gonna call it a day, guys. Thanks for everyone who has engaged with us today. I know it's been a while. I do apologize for the channel being dead for quite a while. People like Hassan always, you know, tell me the brutal truth, and he does not spare my feelings when it comes to this. So I know. So do expect differently from me, guys. Actually don't. Just you'll see. But anyways, peace to everyone who has engaged with us. Nothing but love, and we are out. Rest in peace, Samuel.